Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Claudia Cano, and today is my first official day that I'm launching face-to-face ministry here in YouTube and in social media as well. So I am so happy, so thankful, a little bit of nervousness there because the ministry requires a lot of soul and effort to make it work. So I would like to pray and ask for your prayers in support to this ministry. The Lord has been calling me big time. You have no idea. I'll tell you a little bit about it later. And today I want to start sharing with you what my husband and I read a few days ago about Moses. See, Moses is our topic of today. So it's going to come from my heart. I'm going to share with you what impacted me and how I apply it to my life. So if you are willing, ready, and able, let's journey together. If you find this video that has touched your heart, please subscribe, click on the button notification, and share it, because the more we share, the more we expand the love of God to others. So it's not all about me, but it's about also others, okay? So let's get into it. Hi again. Welcome back. Okay, so today I want to read from two books of the Bible in the Pentateuch or the Torah. The first one, we're going to start with the book of Deuteronomy or Deuteronomio in Spanish. There are some words that are so hard. I'm sorry for my Spanglishness. But my accent is what makes me unique. Okay, so we're gonna go to the book. We're gonna start with the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 34, and then we're gonna jump back to Exodus, chapter 33. So I would like to invite you to either get your Bible, your physical Bible, or your social media or media Bible, and let's read together. Today, again, we're going to talk about Moses, a little bit of his obedience, but the main reason I'm calling this ministry face to face is because Moses spoke with God face to face. So to me, that is very exciting. I would like to share with you what I read a couple of days ago, and it's so fascinating. Okay, so let's get into this book of Deuteronomy, chapter 34. Actually, just so you know, I'm reading for the Complete Jewish Study Bible. Was a farewell gift from the Manassas Seventh-day Adventist Church to my husband, but because we're one, I made this Bible mine. So it's mine. It's amazing. It's fascinating. It has a lot of commentaries, the reasons why things were said in the ways they were said, and why they were said. That's what intrigues me about this Bible. And my husband and I are learning the Jewish traditions and why the whys. I'm 45 years old now, and I do not want to continue following just because others are doing it. I want to follow because I want to understand the reason. Does it happen to you too? Okay, awesome. Excellent. Okay, so chapter 34, we're going to start in the verse 9. And it talks about Joshua, the son of Nun. He was full of the spirit of wisdom because Moses, or Moshe, how it is said in Hebrew, had laid his hands on Joshua, and the people of Israel heeded him and did what Adonai had ordered Moshe or Moses. In verse 10, it's where it comes the thing that got my heart. Since that time, there has no arisen in Israel a prophet like Moshe or Moses, whom Adonai knew face to face. Wow. Okay, so in 11, verse 11 says, what signs and wonders Adonai sent him, meaning Moses, to perform in the land of Egypt upon Pharaoh, all his servants, and all his land. What might was in his hand. What great terror he evoked before the eyes of all Israel. So it seems like because Moses knew God face to face, all of these descriptives about Moses followed. So I want to know how did Moses knew God face to face? What happened? So from this book of Deuteronomy in chapter 34, we're going to do a hyperlink to Exodus chapter 33. Exodus chapter 33. Are you there? Okay, I am. So we're going to read a little bit of context before we go in depth into the point that I am making today. So verse 7 says, Moses would take the tent and pitch it outside the camp, far away from the camp. He called it the tent of meeting. Okay, do we have a tent of meeting? A war room? Everyone who wanted to consult Adonai would go out to the tent of meeting outside the camp. Whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people would get up and stand, each man at his tent door, and look at Moses until he had gone into the tent. Wow, that must have been an event every time that happened, right? Okay. Verse 9. Whenever Moses entered the tent, the column of cloud would descend and station itself at the entrance of the tent. And Adonai would speak with Moses. That's awesome. Okay, verse 10. When all the people saw the column of cloud stationed at the entrance of the tent, they would get up and prostrate themselves, each man at his tent door. And this is where it becomes more interesting and fascinating. Verse 11. Adonai, meaning the Lord, would speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. How beautiful is that? Then he would return to the camp, meaning Moses. But the young man, meaning Joshua, who was Moses' assistant, never left the inside of the tent. Wow. Imagine being Joshua, experiencing firsthand all of this wonder. Wow. Verse 12 says, Moshe said to Adonai, okay, Lord, look, you say to me, make these people move on, but you haven't let me know whom you will be sending with me. Nevertheless, you have said, I know you by name, and also you have found favor in my sight. Now, because it says that God and Moses speak face to face as a man speaks to his friend, so I guess Moses felt open to talk the way he would with God. Uh, so he was like, okay, you've told me all of these things, but uh, in verse 13 says, now, please, if it's really you, oh, no, I'm sorry. If it's really the case that I have found favor in your sight, show me your ways. What kind of ways is Moses referring to? So that I will understand you and continue finding favor in your sight. When we have a friend, a dear, dear friend, whether it's your spouse, a friend in college, at work, outside, anywhere, you want to understand that friend deep. You want to see things the way they see it, right? So that's the way Moses was talking to God. Okay, I want to know you. I want to understand you. I want to go deep with you. Okay, and so Moses continues. Moreover, it's not only that, just show me your ways, okay? So I understand you, and I want to add this. Moreover, keep on seeing this nation as your people. Oh Lord, by the way, yes, okay, I'm gonna help you lead it because you need a human figure to lead it, but this is your people. Just to remind you, they are yours, they are not mine. Okay. And the Lord was so beautiful, and he answered, Moses, don't worry, set your mind at rest. My presence will go with you after all. Wow. Pero Moses, he replied, if your presence, Lord, if your presence doesn't go with us, do not make us go on from here. Oh my goodness. He had some. For how else is it going to be known that I have found favor in your sight? Oh, not only I, but your people. Remember, they are yours. Other than that, you're going with us. That is what distinguishes us, me and your people, from all other peoples of earth. And the Lord, again, he's so sweet and beautiful. In verse 17, he responds to Moshe, okay, I will also do what you have asked me to do, because you have found favor in my sight. And I know you by name. Isn't that beautiful? When you have a child, though they want to change their names to any other thing, you as the parent, you know their name and what that name means to you, right? As the parent. So you know them by name. You know who they are. And that's how the Lord was telling Moses, you are so close to my heart that I know you by name. But Moses, in verse 18 says, I beg you to show me your glory. Aha! That was the main thing about Moses talking and talking and talking. He didn't tell God immediately from the beginning of the conversation, hey, Lord, I would like you to show me your glory. But he went preparing the place in God's heart before he made the big asks. That reminds me of my husband, that when he wants to buy something, he first explains the reasons why this particular object works the way it does and why it's important to have it. And then, after giving me all this story, he goes into the ask, can we buy it? It's not that I will not do it. It's just one of us keeps the finances on track, right? So uh, it reminded me so much. Moses, this big ask that Moses asked God reminded me how my husband does the same thing. So Moses' real intention was for God to show him his glory. That is a big ask. For me, I've been asking the Lord for the last year and a half to show me his glory. Not only to show me his glory, but to feel his presence. For me, when I don't feel God's presence, it feels like I am in a dry land. I become this dry land person in become a very bad mood. Not nice to be around with woman. My friends know that. But it's because I long for God's presence. So I understand Moses. Moses, I like your big ask. Okay, so the Lord replies in verse 19, I will cause all my goodness to pass before you, and in your presence I will pronounce the name of the Lord. The name of the Lord wasn't heard from the beginning of the creation up to this point. And the Lord is giving him this special gift. How important is the name, right? So the Lord will pronounce the name of Adonai. And moreover, I show favor to whomever I will, and I display mercy to whomever I will. But there is always a but, right? My face, Moses, you cannot see. And here's the reason why. Because a human being cannot look at me and remain alive. And because I want you, Moses, to continue walking with me and helping me with my people, yes. But I want to have this friend to face conversations continuously. I want you to stay alive. So I will not show you my face, okay? And the Lord in verse 21 continues saying, Here, here, there is a place near me. Stand on the rock. Stand on the rock. And when my glory passes by, I, the Lord, will put you inside a crevice in the rock and cover you with my own hand. Wow. Until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand and you will see my back, but my face is not to be seen. Wow. I wish I could see what you think and write down below here. Uh, this blowed my mind and still does. Every time I read it, I feel like I want to cry. It's so powerful and so beautiful. Um, I would like to have this kind of relationship with God that Moses had with God. I want to see him. I want to see him face to face. I desire to feel that I am in his presence. You know, I am such a sinner. My goodness, only the Lord knows who really I am. And yet he loves me. He says, here, come near me and stand on the rock, which is Jesus, right? And I will cover you with my own hands. What a beautiful gift Moses had with the Lord. He knew the Lord face to face and spoke with the Lord as a man, as a friend, as a man speaks with his friend. And going back to the book of Deuteronomy, at the end of Moses' life, was said of him, "What signs and wonders Adonai sent Moses to perform in the land of Egypt, upon Pharaoh and all his servants and all his land. What might was in his hand. What great terror he evoked before the eyes of all of Israel. He knew God face to face." So, I would like to encourage you, and myself also, to seek God as we seek a human friend. We long those friendships. We want to feel their hugs. The Lord brought us here to Ohio about 6 months ago, and we left behind our dear friends. And it was hard to start this ministry. The Lord is about 1.5 years who has been showing me in 3 occasions that I needed to start this ministry, and I was refusing to do it. But yesterday, or the day before yesterday, when I read this passage, was like, okay, Lord, you're talking to me. I felt like I was in the presence of the Lord. So I'm starting today. Later, I will share with you how this ministry started. But I want to encourage you and invite you to seek God's face from the bottom of your heart, to talk to Him as you would talk to a friend, to invite Him to your tent, to your house, so He can dwell with you in your family and bless your life and bless your business, whatever it is that you do, even you're a homestay mom or a high entrepreneur. Invite Him to be with you in your tent so you can talk face to face. If this video has touched your heart, please share it. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys. See you in the next video. Shalom, shalom. Mwah.